Hey people, how's it going? Welcome to another video, welcome to another episode of my favourite album from that year. Today we are tackling the monstrous year 1976. We're getting through these pretty good. I'm quite excited to get rid of the 70s because I'm finally starting to steer away from like the classic rock stuff that I don't really typically talk about. You know, we're all about hard rock and heavy metal on this channel. So as we steer away from the 70s and get into the 80s, we'll get back into the likes of heavy metal. However, today I think is quite a heavy metal release. Last week's was 1975, which was Ricky Wakeman's King Arthur, so it's a bit like progressive rockish, you could say. But today we're tackling pretty much the very first, in my opinion, the very first power metal album, Rainbow Rising. Now, this is easily one of the most played albums that we have from our shelves. Thankfully, both me and my partner absolutely adore this album. This exact one in particular, fun fact, is a single LP, obviously, even though it's a gatefolded. I could have bought this. I bought the black one, just the normal black one for, you know, 35 bucks or something like that. Or I could have bought it in purple for 70. And I was like, you know what? It's okay. I'll go just with the black because I'm not paying $70 for 6 tracks. But anyway, yeah, today we're tackling Rainbow. I'm super excited to talk about this. I've already done a video talking specifically about this album as to what makes this album so great. So if you want, go look at that. It's a bit of an older video, so it might be a bit unscripted and a bit unpredictable, but hey, as is this one pretty much. So yeah, let's just get into it. But before we do, as always, let me know down below your favorite album from 1976. I have not heard every album from 1976, so I'm sure there's some out there who's going, what about this iconic album or whatever, you know? Please let me know what it is so we can get a conversation going. But hey, let's get into this conversation as to why Rainbow Rising is my favorite album from 1976. All right, so where do we start on this album? So this album came out off the top of my head somewhere, is it May? I want to say May 25, but there's something in my head that says May 19. So somewhere around there, 1976, you've got a quartet of brilliant musicians. You've got Ronnie James Dio doing the vocals, sounding like an absolute god. You've got Ritchie Blackmore from Deep Purple shredding up the guitars. Really, really fantastic stuff. You got Cozy Powell on the drums. That iconic Stargazer intro, yes, that's him. Now this is where we get interesting. Who plays the bass for Rainbow? Does it tell me? Jimmy Bain. So Jimmy Bain does the bass, fantastic job. Unfortunately, I don't know where he's from, so please let me know down below. And the keyboard's done by Tony Carey. So all those keyboardy organy sounds come from that dude. Again, don't know where he came from. Let me know if you do. What is it? I said quartet. There's actually 5 of them, so I take that back. Little Ronnie having one of the best being one of the best vocalists in all of heavy metal. R.I.P. He's been dead now for over 10 years. Such a shame. But literally, him, Richie, Cozy, everybody on this album performs magnificently. Every time I listen to this album, especially with the last 2 songs, Stargazer and A Light in the Black, I can't help but just imagine what must have been going on in the studio. Like, you know, they're sitting there doing their thing, especially with those last 2 songs, and the producers are just sitting there like, all right, that one was pretty good. You know, like, what is going on? Just the way those songs end and they build up, it's absolutely insane. It's an incredible album. It's only 6 tracks. Side 2 is consisted of 2 big 6, 7, 8 minute songs. Side 1 has 4 songs on it, and they are just as good. I guess we might as well get straight into the tracks, yeah? So side 1 opens with Tarot Woman, which is honestly fantastic. I think it's a great opener. I love Tarot Woman so much. It's got this awesome keyboardy effecty intro, which gets louder and louder, and then the guitar turns up, and then the whole band comes together. It's got a great chorus. It's got great verses. Obviously, Ronnie's voice on it is just fantastic. But like, obviously, if you know me, what gets me about that song is the goddamn key change at the end. It's absolutely fantastic. I think it's great. It's just it's just a fun opener and it really gets you hyped up. That song is like, for me, one of the more definite Saturday night songs of this album. It's so fun. Run with the Wolf comes next. It's is it a ballad? It's like, it's not, there aren't really ballads on this album, but it's a slower one, you know, Run with the Wolf, but it's still catchy and it's still good. It's honestly really, really so much fun. Starstruck is next. Starstruck is a bit more upbeat and a tiny bit more bouncy. You know, Lady Starstruck is nothing but bad luck. It kind of reminds me of Lady Evil from Heaven and Hell, which came later. But that song is just awesome as well. Do You Close Your Eyes? It's just, you could say that one's the ballad too because of like the context of it. Do you close your eyes when you're making love? But it's not a ballad in terms of like, you know, John Bon Jovi or Wanted Dead or Alive, Blaze of Glory type stuff. It's still so powerful and just really so much fun. It's a fantastic song. It really is. Side A is just phenom. I haven't said this in a while. It's phenomenal, you know? It's phenomenal. It's absolutely fantastic. And then as I mentioned before, side 2 consists of only 2 songs, which pretty much steal this album away. It's honestly, they are honestly insane. You get hit with Stargazer, and it's just a 6.5 minute song, I think, might be longer. But the drums, that drum intro that I mentioned before, done by Cozy, it was, honestly, just listen to that. The first time I heard that song was actually, you know, a cover. It was a Tia cover, and I loved it. I thought it was great, but I never thought to really check out the intro. The original until much, much later. And when I did, I was like, wow, Tia's version is powerful as well. But this, obviously being the original, absolutely blows that song away. So yeah, you've got that magnificent drum intro. The ending of that song is just insane. It just goes and it goes and it just keeps going. It's got a great chorus. It's fun. The solo is ridiculous. Like, just the whole band, when they come together to make that song, that's the whole producer thing that I was talking about. Just sitting there being like, what the fuck are these guys doing? It was just, I can only imagine how insane that must have been. And then once you get through Stargazer, you get A Light in the Black, which is more or less the same thing. Another fast, long, that song's like 8 minutes, I'm pretty sure. It's longer and it's just full of everything. It's got this great little intro. Simple intro really, but it's the driving force of the whole song. It really is. It's so good. And again, Ronnie's vocals just take you on a whole nother journey. The drums are ridiculous on this album as well. I haven't mentioned that, but they are. It's just insane. Honestly, this is one of those songs where once the solo starts, it's just kind of like, it just goes and it goes and it goes. And then by the time you finally get to the end of the solo, you come back with another final chorus, actually there's another verse and then there's another chorus. And by the end of it, it really is like you're out of breath just listening to it. It's a song that you can climb mountains to, honest to God. This is why this album is the originator of, you know, power metal. For one thing, look at the cover, look at the name, Rainbow, come on. You know, it's just like, wow. By the time you get to the end of A Light in the Black, it's really like watching Return of the King. It's insane, the amount of effort that feels like has gone into just listening to that song. It's out of breath. It blows you away. It's absolutely disgusting. I love it so much. It's a quick album. It's literally like 32 minutes, I think. Something absolutely ridiculous like that. But these guys do a fantastic job. If you're a fan of power metal, if you're a fan of beautifully sung vocals, if you're a fan of shred guitars, honestly, go back in time and look at where it all came from. Rainbow Rising, 1976, is ideally the perfect power metal album, and it so rightly is easily the best album, in my opinion, from 1976. But like I said, I haven't heard every album from 76. So let me know down below what yours is. Let me know if you love this album as much as I do, because goddamn, we listen to this album so much. As I said at the start, it's one of our most played ones, and it never gets old. It's so much fun. So there you are, team. That's my favorite album from 1976. What's yours? Let me know why Rainbows is actually subpar to whatever you have to say. I'm all for it. Like I said before, we're getting away from the 70s soon, and then we're going to get into the 80s and hopefully have a bit more fun to talk about with heavy metal. I'm super excited to get into the 80s. It's going to be great. I've got a ranking video coming out on Saturday. Well, it'll be filmed on Saturday, so it probably won't come out until Sunday. Maybe. We'll see. That's my last dig at anything classical. It predates classic rock. it's going to be fun. I've always claimed to never be a fan of this band that I'm about to do, but they have so much history, so it was out of respect. I had to do it. So yeah, thanks for watching, team. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that jazz. I'm so close to 500 subs. I'm stoked for it. So yeah, keep an eye out for the ranking, keep an eye out for 77, and I'll see you all in whichever video comes next. See you later.